Welcome to Grandscape. Whether you're looking to explore the shops and restaurants, experience music and games, or just kick back and enjoy your day, Grandscape has something for everybody. This show is all about the food, fashion, fun, and family that everyone can experience at Grandscape. Want to see all the latest fashions and how to create the perfect craft cocktail? Head over to our website, grandscape.com/podcast, to watch and listen to all of our shows so you don't miss a thing. Join us as we explore new and fun ways to enjoy life. This is Experience Grandscape.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Experience Grandscape, the podcast. I'm your host, Alana Saravia, coming to you from the Grandscape Real News Studios. Let's talk about dining for a minute, though. We have somebody that's, in my eyes, a celebrity being joined with us today. This is Steve DiFillippo. He's a restaurateur and owner of Davios. Have you guys been in yet? Because
I've been there. Yeah, it's great.
Welcome, all the way from Boston.
Yeah, no, I live in Boston, but I feel like I'm a Texan now. You know, it's incestuous. You come down here and you become a Texan. I don't know what it is. You get off the plane, and you start handing out these hats and everything. You know,
it's in the water. We just don't tell you.
Yeah.
Keep drinking it. We're so glad you're here. I mean, let's brag about you for a little bit, though. And this is your 10th Davios. Just to name a few other locations: Atlanta, Boston, Philadelphia. But now this isn't just, you're not just in Grandscape. This is your first location in Texas.
Yeah, it was a big deal to come down here. You know, I always loved Texas. I've been to Super Bowls here. I've been traveled down here. I've been to a lot of the cities. I remember when I was 20 years old and I drove across country, and we spent like a week down in Texas from Port Arthur all the way up through Austin and Houston and Dallas, and then we went out and I loved it then. It was a long time ago, and here we are. It's amazing.
Hey, let's take a trip down memory lane really quick. This all started back in around 1986 or so.
85, yeah.
85, I said mid-80s.
Yep.
Now, other than creating Davios that we know and elevating the culinary experience of the NFL, which is really cool, the Super Bowls, that's something I think is really fun to brag about, and so much more. Why now in Texas? We know you love it, but why did it take you so long?
Well, with me, it's about relationships. I own the company 100% with my wife, and I can only do one or two Davios every couple years. So when I met the owners of this place, Jeff Flynn, the president of the company, and obviously they're just incredible people, and I just had to do it. This was probably about 3 or 4 years ago when this was just dirt. And I met him in New York, and then he came to Boston, and we had dinner together, and we started a lot of conversations. And I said, we got to do something together. And then, obviously, when I saw they planned here, this place, there's nothing like this anywhere in the country. And we're in other centers, but not like this. They're just typical centers. This is not like any typical center I've ever been to.
No, I mean, this is the first of its kind. You heard me at the top. One of a kind outdoor entertainment, shopping, and dining. And I believe that Davios being here is really elevating the dining experience at Grandscape.
Yeah, we hope to. That's something that we wanted to do. But we're also for everybody every day. We have burgers and pizza, and we have, lots of things that aren't just $50 steaks. We are for everybody all the time.
Oh, let's talk about that. Tell us a little more about Davios. It's not your everyday Italian restaurant.
Yeah. Well, we're not. I mean, my soul is Italian. I'm half Italian, half Portuguese.
I can't tell it all.
But we are a Italian steakhouse. So I love steak. We have some of the best steak. It's in the top 1% of Prime. That is our steak. And then we obviously we have the Italian. So we kind of a hybrid. We have both, and we make all our pasta fresh. We cook it fresh to order. We're a scratch kitchen. Every single thing that you eat in our restaurant is made right there.
Amazing.
We have a freezer half the size of this table. I mean, there's nothing we have to make the ice cream and refreeze the ice cream, but we literally make everything. And I think you notice that when you come in there.
Yeah, well, that's so important too. And one thing you know about Texans, one, we're nice. Two, we like to eat.
Yeah. And you like to drink too. Let's talk about that.
By all means. By all means.
It's funny. I just heard about that. You read about it. You hear that Texans are like that. But until you actually live it, I just love coming here, and I spend a lot of time here. And it's maybe I'll move here sometime. We'll see.
Well, come on. It could be your second home or your third home. It doesn't matter. I don't know. We need to get you some cowboy boots, a cowboy hat.
Well, I don't know. I'm a clogs guy. I wear clogs. See my clogs? This is my clogs. So being a chef, you just wear clogs, and I wear them everywhere. And it's funny, even like where I have to go to a black tie event, I wear, I have a nice pair of clogs.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of clogs, brown ones, gray ones. Yeah, they're dance goes. I don't know if that's okay to say, but I just once you wear clogs, you can't go back. I literally have no other shoes.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. So we're going to find a combination of the cowboy boot and a clog, and then we will find that and give it to you.
Well, it's fun. I do have cowboy boots. I did buy them years ago, and I put them on recently because I thought it'd be kind of fun to wear them down here, but they were a little tight on me. I don't know. I'm so used to the clogs. So.
Wear them over time, the leather stretches.
Yeah.
Insider Texan tip right there. You know that. You know that. Let's get back to the food, though.
Sure.
So far, what have you seen? Of course, 2020 has altered a lot of things. Davios is open. What have you seen has been a local favorite?
Well, I think the Italian. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of steak restaurants in Texas. You're known for amazing steak. But I think Italian is something that we're proud to bring here. And I mean, there are great Italian restaurants here, too. But what we're really good at is we make the pasta here. We make it fresh every day, and actually we cook it to order. So when you come in and you order your dish, we literally make it just for you. And I think some other restaurants kind of make it ahead of time, or they cook the pasta in the morning and then they kind of dunk it in the water and bring it back. We don't do that. We literally, if you come and see the line, you'll see all the pasta in its little containers, fresh, and we cook it just for you. And I think that's a big difference.
Okay, well, a big theme at Grandscape is an experience, unlike anything else you're going to find in North Texas. And I have an idea from what you just told me, but tell me about that kind of experience I'm going to get when I come in, get this fresh, made-to-order ingredients. I mean, from beginning to end.
Well, it's funny. We're talking a lot about food, but in my opinion, you go to a restaurant for the service. Now, that might seem odd to say, being a chef, right? You say, wait a minute, you're a food guy, and I'm 100% a food guy.
Sure.
But you have to be treated right? So we have an incredible way of how we remember people, keep track of you. We know what you like, and we know what you don't like, right? We know what server you like, and the one, maybe you don't want that one, or you like certain tables, or you'll have certain drinks, or you ask for something we don't normally have. We make sure when we see you're coming in, we get it for you. So, because let's say you go to a restaurant, okay, and the steak is overcooked. Now, that's a physical mistake. You'll probably, they had a bad night, the steak was over, no big deal. But if you go to a restaurant and you're not treated right, or you have a server who's not great, or the manager, or you just feel not welcomed, are you going back there? No. So what does that tell you? The service is more important than the food, right? So, I know that seems crazy being a food guy, but so our service to me is just a huge thing. It takes 3 weeks to become a server at Davios. The day you start, you're not a server on your own for 3 weeks. We have such incredible training, and the bussers and the food runners and the bartenders. And I think that is something that I am really proud about, that we really train and we test everybody. The tests are hard. We make sure they just know everything about everything. It's really important.
That reminds me of this saying, I don't know if you've heard it, and I'm going to slaughter it, but you might not always remember what somebody told you, but you'll remember how they made you feel. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing. You'll remember that experience whenever you leave. You might not remember your dish, but I bet you will at Davios. Right. But you'll always remember how they treated you and made you feel. So
we don't have attitude. Sometimes you go to these restaurants and, you walk in and the host doesn't look at you, and then, the bartender's, talking to the server, and then you see the cook smoking by the dumpster. You're like, who's running this place? It's just like a disaster, right?
I don't want to go there.
There's no manager around. We hit every table. We attack what's going on, and I think that's what's the difference. People ask me all the time. Plus, it's a beautiful restaurant, very high ceilings. We have a beautiful quartz bar. We have a big open kitchen, so you can see all the chefs cooking. You can walk right up to them and talk to them as they're cooking, which people do, especially here, which I find really kind of cool. During COVID, they just walk right up to these guys talking. It's been really interesting.
Texas. Can I just chalk it up? We're Texans. Hey, speaking of, for the somebody that's coming in for the first time, I know this is probably like asking you your favorite child, which I won't ask you. But what would you recommend?
Because I do have one.
You do? Okay, don't tell us. That's funny.
I have 4 kids, but no, I'm just
don't pick one.
I'm joking. That was a joke.
I love you kids, right?
Yeah.
A recommendation for a dish.
Yeah. Well, one of the first things that I learned to cook with my Italian grandmother, Nana, who actually taught my mom, who's Portuguese, how to cook. And then, so I was in there for, obviously later than that, but I cooked with my grandmother quite a bit. And it's really the meatballs. Even though we're in a Northern Italian, meatballs is an Italian invention, by the way. It's an American Italian thing. Our meatballs they're just unbelievable. So I always tell people, you come, you want to have the meatballs. They're just for an appetizer, Sure. And then I would probably have a pasta, maybe one of our raviolis or some type of linguine or some type of pasta, whatever you like, with seafood or vegetables, whatever you like. And then, it's really hard because we have amazing steak and we also have amazing seafood because we're based in Boston, right? So we have this amazing fishing grounds right off the coast of Boston, and we fly our fish down here. So that's the thing. It's really what you really want. I think you can't miss one of those two.
Okay, well, good to know. I hope you guys wrote that down. Here, let's wrap things up with this. You know, I mentioned 2020. I don't want to hone in on that. We're looking forward now and looking, to the future. But with that, how has Davios kind of adjusted a little bit as far as, cleanliness and just kind of keeping that in mind and making sure that customer feels really safe?
Yeah, well, we're an incredible safe place. You know, we've been open since last summer. We haven't had, knock on wood, not one COVID case, nothing, and zero. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. In fact, up in Massachusetts, I'm on the board of the Governor's Council for advice on how to open correctly. So we did everything right with tables 6 feet apart, and we're still doing that now. We're really just making sure that the guests feel wonderful. They come in and they're not worried about anything. And because I think when you go out, why do you go out to dinner, right? You go out to dinner and have fun, to have a great time, And if you go out and you're like stressed,
why'd you go out?
Why are you doing it?
Right.
Then do. If you feel like that, just do takeout, okay? But if you want to come out and have a good time, I recommend go to a restaurant because we know what we're doing. Not just Davios, but most restaurants know how to do this whole COVID thing because we have a health department, we have building inspectors. We've been doing this for a long time. It's not that complicated.
See, you're so fun to talk with. Okay. Stay well. Come to Texas more often, huh?
Yeah, I think I might move to this apartment building right here. Once it's done, I don't know if it's done this year, but can't wait.
I think it was supposed to be done last year. It'll be done soon.
Yes.
That's what we do know. Yeah, we need to get you some cowboy clogs.
Is there such a thing? I think we just invented something.
Yeah, I think
Why don't we cowboy clogs?
We'll
I
talk
think that
about
would be
that.
awesome. In fact, I might look into that because I do sell products in stores. Davios products are all over the country, but I'm not in the clothing business. So maybe I should start something.
And our next episode, we'll discuss cowboy clogs.
Yes.
Steve, so fun talking with you. Congratulations on the first Texas Davios. Hopefully we'll see you here in Texas more often. Welcome to town. We love having you here. You guys, of course, follow along everything that's happening on Grandscape. It's grandscape.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media. I know you have one. Give us a like, give us a follow. It's Grandscape TX.
Thanks for joining us for Experience Grandscape. Don't forget to watch and listen to each episode at grandscape.com/podcasts so you can see the magic of Grandscape come to life.